Hi everyone, this is Kirsten and I am excited to tell you about my content development ideas for my class project in distance learning. So let's get started. Okay, so the name of the course is Music Theory and Appreciation, and we're going to tell you a little bit about my content development ideas. So let's start with the course info. A little bit about this project. This course, of course, as I said, is called Music Theory and Appreciation, and students are going to study music history and music theory with an emphasis on listening to classical music pieces from all time periods and learning how music history and theory are connected. So it's music history in a framework of music theory. And the course actually spans a full year. This is not a semester-long course, it's a full year course, the whole enchilada. The unit I'm going to be planning specifically for distance education class is Elements of Music and the Introduction to the Orchestra. So this is going to be musical texture, dynamics and timbre and tone color, acoustics of sound, and of course the introduction to the orchestra. So the first three are the elements of music and then the introduction to the orchestra. So that's the unit, and those are the 4 modules. So a little bit about the students. This is going to be designed for Freedom Project Academy, which is online homeschooling. So let's start with the homeschooling section here. It is fully accredited. And here's the oddball for you. I have to teach 2 50-minute synchronous sessions per week along with 5 hours of asynchronous content. So it's a little bit challenging in that respect instead of thinking of it fully online. And it's not a typical blended course the way I think of it, just because the asynchronous or the synchronous sections per week are online streaming synchronous sections with Adobe Connect. This is high school students, 11th and 12th grade. And they are fairly tech savvy. In fact, they're so tech savvy that you kind of have to be one step ahead of them because they will take it over. And it's a classical education, so this comes under the educational philosophy, classical education. So I feel like this tells me that this is going to allow me to challenge them. These kids are taking Latin and they're taking philosophy in high school. They're taking some advanced courses. So I think this is going to be something where I'm going to be able to challenge them. And I've been encouraged to challenge them by the principal of the school. So I'm very excited about that. And very important thing, this school is based in Judeo-Christian values. So there's some very important considerations. Very first important thing is the age-appropriate content. Very, very important. And content appropriate for Judeo-Christian values. And the thing is that what one parent might feel like is appropriate content, another parent might feel like is inappropriate. So I have to be very careful in the content that I pull in from YouTube especially. I'm using a special software that strips out ads and comments from YouTube. One of my discussions that I would like to do where they just share a general song that they like to start the class, I actually can't do because somebody might share something with another student that that parent doesn't feel like is good for their kid. So classical music will be pretty safe. I am going to skip opera, but it's just something to think about. So let's talk a little bit about my course tools. So the communication tool that I'm going to be using is going to be the discussion board, which I'm really excited about. And I'm going to be using it specifically in this unit for discussing musical timbre. And I'm going to be playing this video, and I just have to share this with you. So let me just press play here. And so if you don't know what that was a classical piece written in the Baroque period of music history, arranged for a group of saxophones. So this is going to be a really great opportunity to discuss musical timbre with the students, and I want to engage them in sharing their discoveries because they're going to have to go out and find a video of a classical piece arranged for a group of instruments that are in the same family. So a group of flutes, group of group of harps, group of trumpets, group of general brass, percussion, marimbas. It's just whatever they want to find. Sky's the limit. No duplicates. That's going to be the hard part, so it's going to really challenge them. And I want them to really interact and discover their shared likes and dislikes. It's going to be challenging, but I think they're going to have a good time listening to each other's selections, and hopefully they'll be favoriting some of these YouTube videos. Now, a project that I'm going to do where I'm going to use external content is this really cool, free, love that word, free game-based learning platform called Kahoot. And you can go in and you can do quizzes, and it's seriously, seriously fun. If you've ever played some games on your Xbox where you're all like dialed in on your phone, this is what the students are going to do, except they're going to be all over the world and all of the country instead of in the same room playing. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a challenge. So I'm really excited about using this to maybe jazz up some in-class quizzing to see if they've covered the content. Yeah, so this is real-time classroom quiz competition. And I don't know about you, but I was super competitive all throughout school. So I think this will really get some students engaged, and I think it'll be a lot of fun, rather than just saying, hey, who knows what year Mozart was born? Bueller. So that's going to be that. Another tool I'm using is something called Tiki-Taki. So these are beautiful 3D timelines, and they're really, really cool. So you can see this is just really cool 3D timeline web software, and you can click on each one and find out a little bit more about each step in the timeline. It's just a little bit more interesting than a left to right linear timeline, and I think it will be a lot of fun to create it. There will be the opportunity to create one free timeline with a free account, and I'm going to test it out and see how the students like it. And if they are responsive, then I will definitely think about getting a paid account. Some considerations in developing this content. The question that we were asked is, hey, are we going to have any difficulties in online delivery? And I'm actually very excited about this unit because it's pretty much going to take care of itself. Why? Because I've already created the video content. This is something that I did several years ago, and so the content is already created.
You can take it to extremes with the issimo. How about prestissimo? What would that mean? It would be ludicrous speed. Oh my gosh, we're going too fast. It can be a little trying when a composer asks you to go prestissimo.
So you can see I had a lot of fun making those videos. I made them for a completely different company, and I went back in and stripped out the specifics of, hey, this was for Curious.com, which is the company that I created them for, and reposted the videos on YouTube so that I can use them for my class. So that's really going to create a lot of ease for me instead of difficulties. I'm really happy that I'm able to use these things that I spent, oh my gosh, let's just say I took a lot of time on these videos. So it's really good to be able to use them for a class that I'm going to be teaching, where I'm actually going to see how the students like them. So, you know, I may re-record them in the future. But for this class, distance learning, I'm going to deliver them as is. I think I have to maybe divide a couple of them down, but this will be okay. So the challenge for me is going to be the synchronous portions. I'm really concerned about avoiding redundancies and making the content engaging for the students. I've got videos created. I can use the timeline. I can do Kahoots in class, so that's really going to help with some in-class quizzing. but I really want to make sure that the synchronous portions of the class are something that the students are going to look forward to every week. So that's the part that I'm really concerned about. And like I said, this is going to be me trying to create an effective hybrid where the face-to-face is going to be sort of monitor to monitor. I'll be in Adobe Connect. They'll be able to see my face, but I won't be able to see their face. So it's not sort of the typical blended or hybrid. It's something a little bit different. And I want to make sure that it's effective and that both parts are working well together. And I know that I need to remember that there's always the you design, you develop, you implement, and then you evaluate, and then you go back. So I don't want to beat myself up too much if I have to do some tweaking. So this is going to be my class, teaching music theory and appreciation online. And the unit, of course, as I said, will be the elements of music and the introduction to the orchestra. Thanks for watching, and if you want to stick around, you can find out about my sources.